Got a late 60s or 70s, haven't checked the date code yet, Vibrolux Reverb that comes in. I can tell you it's probably after 73 based on the wax I'm seeing. And the owner says never been serviced. I'm afraid he's slightly mistaken. Someone changed the bias there. Not very beautifully, but it's been changed. And one of the screen grid resistors has been changed out there. You can see that with the original there. 2 watt, looks like there. Oddly, the ground wire has been taped off. Did someone cut it and then change their mind? The heater balance resistors have obviously been changed. A little bit of a bulge beginning on that bias cap. Let's see what's happening under the doghouse. Alright, got a 78 date code, 78 date code, 79 date code, and 78 date code. So it's 79, probably fairly early in the production run. Let's see what awaits us underneath here. Never been serviced. It has, in fact, been serviced. Not beautifully, but Nishikans are great. Hopefully they're still good, and I'll see if I can get a date code off them. But ICs, usually a little less. Great. These are the larger ones than Fender's using today, so that may be okay. I'm going to tentatively power the amp up and give it a listen with a current limiter on, just in case something goes crazy bad. Alright, let's plug in a speaker and turn it on and see what happens. If there's a light show, it'll be visible in the tubes. Well, nothing crazy out of the light bulb limiter bulb, and the power LED lamp came on. So nothing too bad, though the amp is in standby for right now. It's not necessary with a Vibrolux. I just chose to do it this way this time because it's a way of separating any problems into different parts of the circuit. If there's a problem exhibiting in standby, I know there's rectification or first filter stage or something. Let me get my guitar cable ready. Let's take it out of standby. Nothing major. Let's see how the normal channel sounds. And the reverb channel, a little scratchiness. Doesn't appear to be the kind of scratchiness you get from DC, just dirt on a pot. It's getting a little bit better as I use it. I'll see if it merits a squirt later. That sounds gross. Let's plug a guitar in and see what it sounds like. That all sounds pretty good. Interesting that scratchiness is worse when nothing's plugged in. Maybe a dirty contact on the input jack, or the input jack may need to be tightened. Let's plug into the normal channel. I need to make a little box for myself. I can run my lav mic cable through. That will pad it down by like 9 dB when I step on a button, like a momentary button. So I can go between playing and talking without it blasting the mic. Would sound more like. That would be something I'll do if I ever have some spare time. I'll put the guitar away. Well, I'll only check the reverb, make sure the reverb is working and the tremolo is working. So far, I'm not hearing anything that really needs a lot of service, except something I'll get to in a moment. I tell you what, I am constantly making little RCA plugs, dummy plugs, to turn the tremolo on for testing these things. And then because they're just little RCA plugs, I'll leave them in the back of someone's amp and they get a free vibrato plug. So let's test the vibrato. And I've got some more little RCA plugs around. I'll make up another one. All right, so this should be max intensity, slow depth, slow speed. And yet it's not. So we've got no vibrato yet, and that may just be a tube in V5. And the reverb. So that's fine. Let's see what's going on in V5 before we worry about anything too much. It's an old Fender branded 12X7A, that red ink version I associate with the 90s. Let's see here. Got a generic Chinese tube. Doesn't matter what kind of 12X7 it is in the LFO oscillator position of these amps. That's just does it produce a signal or not kind of thing. Well, I see the bulb flashing now. But I'm not getting the magic sound. It's also possible that it's just a bad roach or something. Because I see I see the roach flashing, but that just means that the neon end of it's working. Doesn't mean that the LDR end of it's working. Yeah, no vibrato, so I'll look into that. So, what I have found, and what I will call the owner about next, obviously the tremolo, I need to troubleshoot what's going on with that, why it's not doing its job. I would like to change out all the remaining original electrolytics in the amp. That's the owner's call as to whether I do all of that, but I'm going to insist on the 2 bias caps. One of them's got a little bit of a bulge to it, and that's just too important to leave to chance. If he wants everything recapped at once, I'll be glad to. But the only caps in here that I see that need changing, though that may include some cathode bypass caps for the vibrato, the tremolo, are those 2 bias caps. The rest of the amp seems pretty healthy. So let me dive into that tremolo, and maybe I'll have something that I can add on here. All right, see the little flashing light here? That is light leaking out of this little plastic cover. It's just shrink wrap. That is light from the neon bulb. And that means that the entire circuit is working properly, and I can change the speed and all that. And that's including using the original V5. So V5 that came with the amp is fine. The issue is that the LDR on the other side, the light sensitive resistor, is not changing in value as that light hits it. It's supposed to go from about 10 meg to about 0 ohms, depending on how much light is hitting it. And it is just not changing. It's just staying in a high resistance state, so the volume is not changing in the circuit. So it needs a new roach. No big deal. That's a good place to stop for now. I'll talk to the owner after he sees this video, and we'll see where we end up. Should be a good amp. Vibroluxes are one of my favorite ones.